Hey everybody, it's Danae on Instagram. I'm at lightworker_warrior, and let's get real. I want to talk about something kind of personal, growing up with a label and what that's like. So when I was a child growing up, I didn't recognize that I had a label. It wasn't until I was about in junior high school until I started to affiliate with the label like Mexican or Hispanic or anything that has to do with that. When I was a kid, I grew up in an area where rodeos were pretty popular and where everybody listened to country music. However, when we were kids, I was never like the little Mexican girl. As kids, we were never like that. The other night, I was out and I was talking to this guy, and he said that he doesn't dance. And I was just like, everybody dances. Like, if we were a bunch of 6-year-olds, we'd be in the middle of the dance floor holding hands, spinning in a circle, and we'd be having a great time. And he started laughing because it's true. Like, when we were little kids, we would hang out with anybody. We would play with anybody, unless our parents didn't let us. Like, behaviors learned, we're never taught to be racist. We're never taught to call somebody white, black, or Mexican. That's something that we learn how to do. And we were kids, we knew that. We knew that there was no such thing as labels. So that's why it was so easy for us to just play with each other and hang out, But now as adults, it's a lot harder. And growing up with a label, it was difficult for me because when I was in junior high and high school, I started to see like why people try to run away from those labels. And what inspired me to do this video is the other day I saw a YouTube video where there was children, and they asked these children a series of questions. And these questions were like, which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the pretty doll? And there was two types of dolls. There was a doll that had lighter colored skin, and there was a doll that had darker colored skin. And every single time they would ask the question, which doll was the bad doll, they would point to the dark colored doll. And every time they would ask which color is the beautiful doll, they would point towards the light colored doll. And and it's funny because I experienced that, growing up in high school where, I wore blue contacts and I dyed my hair blonde, and because it's like it felt like that is what society needed in order to feel beautiful. And and it's like growing up with that label, it made me realize that we don't have those labels at all as a soul. Like, our soul makes that choice to have the color hair that we want and the color skin that we want, to have that experience. It has really nothing to do with the kind of person we are. It just has everything to do with that's just the life that we chose. And so as children, we already knew that. And so the consciousness is the same from the time that we're born to the time that we die. The only thing that changes is our social programming. So we only learned that behavior not knowing that we're all the same. We are one. We are one consciousness having a bunch of different experiences at a time. But we're all the same. So our souls aren't racist. Our souls don't have a label. And so it's if you think back to when you were a child, we didn't have labels. I didn't have a label when I was a child, and it was really confusing to me to be in a room full of people and see a bunch of men and just think those are just guys. They're not a Mexican guy, a black guy, or a white guy. I never looked at people that way. It wasn't until I got a little bit older until people started to put myself into that category. And I knew I had a culture and a background, but I never considered myself to be a Mexican. And it's because I just don't view people that way. I don't view people having that skin color doesn't matter. We should all treat each other like we're brothers and sisters, because it's at the end of the day, if we were all blind, if you were to talk to somebody with your eyes closed, you wouldn't know what they look like, and you could get to know them and they'd be a really great person. I meet a bunch of people who are oh, I don't like black people. Oh, but you're friends with so-and-so. Oh yeah, except him. It's well, you got to know him and you saw that he was actually a human being. The struggle may be different, but the feeling is still the same. We might go through different situations and we might be different skin color, but the way we feel on the inside is the same. We all know what it feels like to be sad. We all know what it feels like to be happy. We all know what it feels like. So you have to remember that. You have to remember when you're treating another human being, you have to look at them as a mirror and know that that person is literally the same as you, that soul is having an experience just like you are, and that we really need to respect each other and remember that we're all one, and we should really just ditch the labels and remember that we're all the same. Thank you for watching. Please share my video, and again, I'm Danae on Instagram. I'm at lightworker_warrior. Thank you.